Oh, you look nice. I like that outfit.
You saw me this morning.
I didn't see the pants.
Oh.
I didn't see it on you. You know what I mean?
Is that an aloe sweatshirt?
It's weird.
Is that what you went to go pick up for Pastor Natalie?
No, I got Natalie. Okay.
It looks good.
Thank you.
I thought he got it for me because I got the receipt immediately, and I was like, he didn't tell me he was going to Aloe, and so I was like, oh, he's gonna surprise me. That's so sweet. But I thought he got it all for me. But the espresso sweat, I was like, oh, I was really excited about that espresso sweatshirt. But I could borrow it.
Welcome to the Monday podcast. We're so glad you've joined us. How's your Monday?
My Monday's great.
Yeah.
Got a workout in, and well, I'm tired. I was tired this morning. I feel like I slept terribly last night. I don't know if I dreamt this, but I woke up to you like wandering around the bedroom. I have like memories of you doing that in the middle of the night. Were you doing that in the middle of the night?
Not at all.
I feel like I woke up.
I mean, maybe I got up to
several
use the
times,
restroom, but
and you're like in and out of the bedroom in the middle of the night.
no.
And so I slept pretty poorly, and then I let the kids sleep in, which always kind of like
Slows everything down.
slows everything down. But we had one kid with early morning practice. The other kids were late to school. It's fine. It's fine.
So I'm Eric.
I'm Natalie.
We've been married for almost 19 years this October, and
Yeah.
we're pastors in a suburb of Austin, Texas, called Pflugerville.
Pflugerville, Texas. We have 4 children.
Yeah.
Girl, boy, ages 15, 13, 9, and 6
At the time of this
at
recording.
the time of this recording.
Mondays are interesting for us because we come off of, a big, heavy Sunday. We've got 3 services. The weekend is big, but I think the weekend is big for most people, right?
Friday is our day off. So we have Friday off, and then Saturday is usually kids' things, and then Sunday is a work day. And so we go home on Sundays, and the temptation is to kind of fall into like a coma.
Yeah, definitely.
A nap coma. And then Mondays is kind of like a hangover from Sundays is what it feels like. And so we've had to reframe our Mondays. And that's why this started us kind of like, it's Monday to it's Monday.
Well, I think Monday is when real life happens, right? You have your weekend. Maybe it's sports for families, or maybe it's like a weekend at the lake, or it's just not work, right? It's I'm off and I can veg, or I can kind of, do what I want to do. And then Monday is real life, and Monday is real life with family. Monday is real life with marriage. It's kind of like, okay, I'm back to work and all those types of things.
Start of your week, and you've like a reset.
Yeah, and I think, do you dread your Monday? Or are you excited for your Monday? It's kind of a way of looking like, are you excited for your life? Like, is your life exciting, or is your life kind of a grind? And it's like, oh, and I'm married to this person, and I've got these kids that are always needing me, and it can sometimes feel overwhelming. It can, especially for people who are navigating life and navigating marriage and navigating raising kids. There's a lot of like questions and concerns and just like excitement, like all those types of things. But Monday is definitely like, okay, here we go. Like, it's real life, and we got to go to work, and we got to come home, and we've got to parent together, and we've got to somehow make space to be in love and keep our marriage going and vibrant and exciting and fulfilling.
I think for a lot of people, it can feel like a reminder of the mundane. It's like back to the mundane, you
Right.
know? It's like the hamster wheel of going to work, your commute to work, and you work, and your commute home, and then dinner, put the kids to bed. And fortunately for us, our life is not mundane.
Yeah.
And we don't live for the weekends because our work is very fulfilling. But it is like, you do kind of feel like it's like a restart every single time of the same thing.
But I think about how many people on Monday, definitely for us, it's like your emotions are a little bit like, maybe you're emotionally just low, right? You there's nothing in the tank, and then Monday happens, and then that spat, or your kids do something, and all of a sudden you're overwhelmed. You don't like the person you are. You don't like what's going on. You don't like your spouse. I feel like you and I have a master's degree in fighting that has been learned on, sometimes on Mondays or Sunday nights.
Yeah.
I can't tell how many times when we're just emotionally drained, and all of a sudden you get into a confronting conversation, which happens in marriage and life and raising kids. And like, how do you navigate that? How do you have those conversations about, okay, I'm frustrated, or man, the bank account's low, or my kid's doing this, or I don't feel great. One of the crazy things that I've noticed is that, and one of the things that we've learned the hard way is, I see a lot of couples don't take time for themselves. Right? They don't, especially once kids come along. One of the challenges,
themselves, like together, not individually.
Yeah, I think taking time individually is honestly sometimes easier than taking time as a couple.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? And our culture says self-care is so big, and I think we've abused the time. I think we've abused the term self-care and taking time for ourselves. Yeah. And we're not intentional with that time. And so it's kind of wasted time.
Well, I think this is, for me, one of the things that when I look into the zeitgeist of self-care, right? Like the culture of self-care, is it self-care or is it self-indulgence? And those two things can, like the boundary between the two can sometimes become blurry. Of, okay, am I really caring for myself, or am I just indulging in things that are not helpful? They may be a checkout, they may be a release, they may be a way of like disconnecting, but it's actually not. It's not care for, man, the real emotional needs or kind of the life needs we have. But that's another side point. I think
taking time together
is one of those things where is so important.
You're really good at that.
What's that?
Like being intentional with time for us too, because I tend to be like, would rather be by myself.
Oh, you would totally be by yourself. Or just not do anything, or just keep going. Right? Like, I'm just going to keep going, and then all of a sudden the weeks stack and the months stack. And I was talking to a couple months ago, and I was like, when was the last time you guys took time just for you two? And they were like, oh, it's years. And then you stop and you go, wow, man, how are y'all doing? One of the things that I want to try to do, especially in like being married, is be able to share, here's what we've done in our marriage, but also raising kids. And I think the big qualifier for me with raising kids is like, we don't know how our kids are going to turn out.
Right. We've not raised them yet.
We've not raised them yet. So there's always that fear of, what if we lean into this space, start having conversations around it, and our kids turn out crazy? And they're like,
we'll just scrub them from the internet at the end of the podcast.
Delete everything.
Delete everything. Forget it. But I think I think people want to know what other people are doing with their kids. You know, like you see all of these, you see everything on the internet right now, and it's, I tire of the term highlight reel, but that's what it is. Right. But you want to hear like, oh, I never thought to incorporate that into our weekly rhythm, and not that we have it figured out. We're learning from other people too. So hopefully it's just a place where, maybe there's some good ideas, or maybe there's like, hey, we've done this and it was a really bad idea.
Right.
Because we have a lot of those.
But I think even in marriage and raising kids, there's like the surface level, like tips, right? And then there's the real deeper sense of, man, how am I being a good husband because I'm formed by something deeper than hacks and tips and, suggestions of really kind of leaning into like, am I growing as a husband, as a man, to be a good husband, to be a good father? And I think when you only take a look at, okay, I'll be a good husband if I take a date night with my wife. Well, I think that's immensely helpful and amazing, and you should totally do that. I think there's a whole other deeper tier to being a good spouse and to being a good father. And you have to ask yourself, what are the things going into my life that are forming that?
Mm-hmm.
And then what has gone before and previously in our childhood and our formation, what went into forming that idea of what a husband should be or a father should be, especially from, our own fathers, whether they were absent, whether they were present, good, bad. The spectrum is pretty wide there, but so much is formed even before you get into a relationship and a marriage where you're like trying to navigate that. It has to go beyond just the tips and tricks. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Like the little hacks, because I think what we want is, a lot of us have a deep need, right? There's a deep pain point or stress point in our marriages or in our child raising season. And we want something quick to fix it.
Yeah.
And the challenge with that becomes, basically, I'm just band-aiding the problem, right? I'm just kind of like surface level, trying to patch it without actually going and doing sometimes the inner work, which I know that's a massively deep thing. And maybe on Monday, people don't want to
talk about inner work,
talk about like the deep inner work of a person's life. But then it's kind of like, okay, but where do you go for that inner work?
Mm-hmm.
And I think in our context, being pastors, we see, man, how being followers of Jesus actually deeply forms and helps us be the best husbands, wives, or parents that you can possibly be.
So what can people find on this podcast?
Well, here's what I would say, and maybe you can speak to this too. We are not like curated social media people. Like our house doesn't always look perfect.
No, we have artwork on our fridge.
We have artwork. Yeah, we've got
homework.
I freaking hate the magnets on our fridge.
That's interesting, because when we used to have people over, I would take all of that off the fridge because I think it looks cluttered. And you're like, leave it on the fridge. We live here.
No, I'm talking about the magnet strength. The strength of the magnets are weak magnets.
You had a moment with the magnets this morning.
The magnets are the most, they're like, if you touch them, they fall off.
It's those Mickey Mouse ones.
Exactly. It's a Mickey Mouse magnet. We need to get some heavy duty magnets.
Okay.
I'm fine with magnets.
Ones are heavy duty. You just have to know which ones to not touch. Just open the fridge doors and don't touch the magnets.
But sometimes, like, you open the fridge too abruptly and the magnet falls off.
I would just say, like, that doesn't happen to me. But you're very abrupt in the mornings. You are very loud and aggressive in the mornings. Last week, I said, when Eric wakes up in the morning, he gets his Yeti to put water and ice in it, and he puts the ice in first, okay? And he opens the freezer, and it's like, when he's opening the freezer. And then he gets the scoop, and he's like digging around in the ice bin. That's what it sounds like. It's like, and then he scoops it, and then he pours it in the Yeti, which is like clank, 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 clank. It's like 6 a.m. We have a kid sleeping like right next door. And I'm like, so I've put up with that for a long time. And I just so kindly last week, I was like, hey, could you put the water in first before you do the ice? You're so loud. And he was like, oh, you're going to critique me on how I put ice in my water bottle? I was like, never mind. No, I'm not.
It does feel a little petty.
It's so loud. And I just felt like if you were just a little bit softer when you, like, maybe the magnets wouldn't have fallen off the fridge. If you just like gentle.
So what you're going to find on this podcast is not a curated life where it's like everything is perfect.
Sometimes I'm going to use this opportunity to bring
just
things
vent,
up.
just like vent publicly so that people can follow up with how I put ice in my water bottle. They can comment, Eric, have you grown in the Lord? And starting putting, but also the challenge is sometimes if I put the water first and then I put the ice, I put too much ice in it and it overflows the water.
You got to know your water bottle.
I do. You put the ice in and then you fill it up. So in this podcast, you're going to discover all the ways that Natalie finds me annoying.
No, that's not true.
And
I'm not easily annoyed.
we want to just have conversations and around going like, there's a marriage and family is such a massive topic. And we just want to help. I think we want to go like, here's our life. Here's the things that we've made mistakes on. Here's what we're still learning.
Mostly that.
Mostly
We've
mistakes.
learned from a lot of mistakes we have. But we have a really good marriage too.
Yeah.
And we really love each other. We're not perfect. So yeah, I hope it helps someone.
Yeah. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about raising kids. We're going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about fighting. We're going to talk about...
I don't feel like we should talk about sex.
You don't feel that way? Why? Is that like bad?
I don't know. Anyways, keep going.
Is that not good?
No, I shouldn't have interrupted you. Say that again. That was really good. I won't interrupt about the sex thing.
Let me say the same thing again?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I forget we're recording and I say things. So say that again, like you didn't say it before.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about all the things I said previously. And basically try to have a conversation that can help. Because I think, here's one of the things. I think there's a lot of couples that think this is only us.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's been moments in our marriage where you've come to me and you're a little more Chicken Little than I am. Like, the sky is falling. Our marriage is terrible. I hate my life. This is the worst. Oh my gosh. And it's because of the ice.
I wake up every morning.
But I think there's some comfort in knowing that, okay, other couples have gone through this and other couples deal with this, and you can like work through it. You can grow. You can figure it out. And one of the spaces that we've had to really figure it out is in how we argue.
Yeah.
Right. How we fight. And we could probably do a whole thing on fighting, but but just to give some context, we fight bad. We used to fight terrible.
We're passionate people.
Yeah. And you're not a wallflower. And I definitely have opinions. And so when we used to fight, it was like a boxing match, not physical. We never got in physical. You got physical, but I didn't get physical.
Oh my God. Edit that out.
Natalie stabbed me with a pin.
Well, I wasn't even mad at you. You can't just say I stabbed you with a pin, and not give the story. That's a story for another day. I didn't stab him.
But like, how do you have conversations around how have we navigated money? How have we navigated the difference in how we raise our kids? How have we navigated how to fight, how to communicate, how to connect, how to develop intimacy beyond just physical intimacy, feeling close to one another, feeling seen by one another. One of the things that you say all the time that I'm trying to do a better job is you said, I want to feel comfortable in my own skin around me. And even that statement, when you said that to me, was like, you don't feel comfortable. And so immediately my question is not
physically, like
just who you are as a
who I
person,
am
your
as a person.
personality,
Yeah.
your quirks, your ice in the Yeti thing.
I don't want to be judged.
But you can judge me.
It's not like a judgment. It's like a helpful.
Oh my God. I love how it's so much softer when you say
It's
it.
like a helpful tip, like have you ever thought about like maybe
I have thought about it. But just having those real conversations around, okay, what does it actually look like? And then what does it look like to be pastors? What does it look like to be followers of Jesus and trying to do marriage and family, honestly, God's way?
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of parenting advice. There's a lot of marriage advice that's not grounded in scripture, that's not grounded in a Christian worldview. And I see those as detrimental. I see this detrimental to the family unit. It's detrimental to the children that are being raised in that environment. And if you think about it, like God's given like a playbook really, and this is not going to be scripture all the time and like many sermons, but it's going to be how being a follower of Jesus plays out in the context of raising kids and marriage, in life, in all the things that don't feel like massively spiritual and massively weighty, but are really important in knowing how to navigate that. And so I think we should tell how we started dating and how we got married, and just tell that journey, just so people can kind of know our origin story.
Okay.
So Natalie and I have known one another our whole lives. Our parents were friends, and our moms were pregnant at the same time in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. So we had always known of one another. And then in 2001.
No. When I came to Dallas?
Yeah.
No, it was after high school. It was like
2004.
2004. Yeah.
2004. You take a trip to Dallas with your mom. My mom basically was like, you need to come see Natalie King. And she was trying to set me up. And, you know, as a 20-year-old guy, I was like, I don't need your help.
It's like when your parents are believers and they want you to marry somebody who's also a believer. As for me anyways, my mom was always like, oh, he is so cute, you know? And I remember her saying this one time about this guy in high school. He is so cute. And I'm like, he's not. He's polite and he's a Christian. And he like said, yes, ma'am to you one time. And so you're like, he's so cute, you know? You're like, nah.
He opened a door one
He
time.
ain't cute.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So she was like, hey, come down. I didn't want to go, but she said, I'll buy you dinner. And I was like, well, I'm broke, so I will
We
go.
were 20.
We were 20 years old. And basically I went to a movie studio. You were an extra in a movie about Queen Esther. And I remember walking into the movie studio and you're like in a toga. And I was like, holy mess, this girl grew up. Like, wow. And
He was barely saved. If you're having those thoughts, you're barely saved.
No. The Lord made me to be attracted with my eye. I'm visually like, hello.
Anywho.
It's all God's design.
Anywho. Then we went to dinner
Went to dinner.
with a huge group of people.
We didn't really talk after that. And
No, because there was this girl there that was flirting with you the whole time and talking the whole time. And she's like laughing and touching your leg. And I was like,
I don't think she was touching my leg.
she touched your leg. I know she did.
But there was a table. How did you see?
Because you were in the middle and she was on the other side. I was right here and it was you and then it was her.
She was touching my leg. Anyways,
She touched the leg.
I had done one of these things that I think all Christian dudes at some point do, and they're like, I'm gonna like totally give this up and I'm just focusing on Jesus. And I was in Bible school and I was like, I'm not dating anybody. I'm giving Jesus 6 months to get my life right. And it was actually a really pivotal time. We can go into that later. But that January, like, how do you text somebody that you haven't talked to in months? And I remember,
We went to dinner that night. We hung out all weekend, but it wasn't like, it was just kind of like around each other, essentially.
Yeah.
And then that was October.
and then I text you in January after I'd come back from the UK, and I text you, and you can pick up the story there when I text you.
He texted me in January. I had not heard from him since that weekend. And I left, I don't know how much I should go into. I'll go into all the details later. I left being very interested in him and like thought he was awesome. And then I never heard from him. And then
But you
January.
didn't touch my leg.
No, I didn't touch your leg.
If you
'cause
touched my leg,
I'm not a flirtatious person. So I didn't touch your leg.
Okay.
January, he texted me, I hear Dallas is lovely in the spring. And I was like,
Yeah, because I don't know what you text. Like,
Bro.
what do these dudes DM girls? That's what I want to know.
I don't think we want to know.
No, what's your go-to DM? That's what I want to know. Like, is it like, sup? Is it like, I heard it was like if you send a certain type of emoji, that means like,
Oh, really?
yeah. I text you. Go ahead.
You text me that, and I don't even remember what I responded back. I really don't. But my best friend at the time was going to school in Waco at Baylor, and so my other friend and I were going to go visit her. And like we had been talking about it, and then we were like, I was like, let's move that date up.
Yeah.
So I had like an excuse to drive through. And so I was like, actually, we're driving through, we're going to Baylor. And we drove through. We had dinner with him that night. We ended up spending the night at your mom's house. And then you came for Easter to Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
And that was our first weekend hanging out. And then a couple of weeks after that, we went to that wedding together.
Went to the wedding. We had a few hangouts. I lived in Dallas. You lived in Oklahoma. So everything was long distance. And it was back in the day when text messaging cost 10 cents a message. And so we were running up text message bills, like $400 text message.
My dad was like, tell that boy to pick up the phone and
Yeah,
call you. Because
you had the luxury of daddy paid for it. I had to pay for it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is getting really expensive.
you were initiating it, though.
It cost something. But all that to say, I had come through a season of like, man, I don't want to date. And I remember asking your parents if I could date you and, giving them a phone call. And then I got up at like 4 a.m, drove to Oklahoma to like ask you to be my girlfriend, which seems so cheesy, but I think like clarity is like huge. I just think for guys today, it's like, just ask. And if you get told no. Okay, cool. But just ask. And I remember driving and showing up and having a coffee and flowers and like a muffin from Starbucks or whatever. And we spent the day there. I expressed my intentions of like,
We ordered pizza
and then I drove back home that evening
that day.
because we were Christians. We don't spend the night together.
No,
And
he didn't even kiss me.
I didn't kiss you. I drove back home, and then we dated long distance for a year.
For a year, got engaged. We were engaged 6 months, and then we were married. So we were married 2 years from the day we started hanging out or met each other.
Really young. We were married at 22.
Yeah.
And with that came a lot of immaturity, and
We've learned a lot of things.
learned a lot of things.
A lot more to learn. So, anyways, we're just two real people.
Yeah.
I hope what we talk about can help somebody else. I think what you said earlier about, people feeling isolated, even in your, like in the Christian faith, you feel isolated. It feels like everything else is so loud around you and you feel like you are doing this alone. In singlehood, but also in marriage, you feel like I'm alone in my marriage in the way that I feel. And most of the time you are not. And so we probably won't share every nitty gritty thing, but I hope what we do share makes people feel like hopeful and like I'm not alone, or this is not totally abnormal behavior. We're not crazy.
I just think whenever you're going through difficult moments in your marriage, in your parenting, sometimes difficult moments, like you said, can isolate you, and then honestly your life becomes an echo chamber of doubt and pain and worry and anxiety, and literally all you think about is the negative or the difficult. And so if we can be kind of like a voice that kind of cuts through to go, hey, we've walked through something similar. We are walking through things similar. Here's how we did it. It doesn't mean you have to do it exactly how we did it, but I think to the deeper thing of here's why I did it.
Yeah.
Like the shift in my life when I really became a better husband was not a what thing. It was okay, why am I married? Why has God called me to be a good husband? And then leaning into really discovering that. And the what's come, the tips and the tricks and the things, they all come, but you're going into that deeper space. And I just think if there's somebody out there who they're living in that current echo chamber where like it's everything, man, and it's just like there's no hope, there's no like light at the end of the tunnel. They feel like they're the only person going through this. If we can just be a little bit of help on their Monday, like their real life, like not the weekend where everything's fun and you got a little buzz, but like full on Monday, I'm driving to work.
Hope and encouragement.
Yeah.
And even a prayer if you need prayer.
Absolutely. So I know it's our first one, but if there's topics that you want us to cover or you have questions, send us a DM.
Yeah. Leave a comment.
And subscribe. We'd love to connect with you and talk about things that maybe you're walking through. And so we can maybe bring some hope, some encouragement to your Monday.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Bye.